Yay! Here we are, day 3 of From Chaos to Calm. I'm so glad you're still with us and going along. And today it's going to be really helpful because I know this is a really common problem for so many people, getting stuck. So how do we get unstuck and stay motivated is going to be so helpful for you. And I am going to start with some ideas of why we get stuck. So there's some people who can't even start. They're too afraid to even start. Maybe they haven't even read the book. And so that there's just so much fear holding you back from beginning. Maybe it's overwhelmed that the process is going to be hard, or that your fear of making mistakes or having regret. And so we'll address that today. And I run a Facebook group, and there are tens of thousands of people in the group, and I did a poll to say, like, what was your biggest regret? What are you regretting? And tons of people answered, and what they said was that the biggest regret they had was that they waited to start. Really, no one had any regrets except that they had been putting this off, because this method really can change your life. When you commit to it, you start following your intuition and stay with it, it can change your life. And especially with children, and kind of creating the life that you want is totally possible with this method. And so if you're stuck or haven't started, this is for you. And I really want you to have the life you're dreaming of. And partly it's because, when you know the saying, peace begins with me, when we have peace in the home, it can spread to our community and to our country and the world. And we need peace right now. More peace, more calm, more connection. And really what you're doing is so important. And so let's get to it. Get unstuck and go for it. And I would say, so everyone else said that they had no regrets except that they had waited to start. I would say, to be totally honest, there were about 2 things that I regretted letting go of. And so I'm going to talk about that today and just share some real truth about my experience with the process and letting go of a pair of boots that were super cute, but I wasn't wearing. And there was this letting go of who I kind of thought I should be, or whatever. So it actually was good for me to just be able to let go and have that practice. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I had those boots, because they were cute, but they weren't totally comfortable. And so there's all these parts to it. But the most important thing, so I got rid of about 2 things. I can't remember the other thing right now, but the boots, and the sweater that was nice, but had some negative energy. And I don't know, maybe it's not a regret now that I'm talking about it, but so I got rid of thousands of things. I didn't think I had that much to get rid of, but turns out I really let go of so much stuff, and my life is so much better. I can find things. I actually learn to really love myself in this process by letting go and connecting with who I really am, connecting with my values. The whole process really was transformative. And so if I let go of 2 things that I later regretted, that's okay, because my life is 1,000,000 times better. Okay? So that might help you. And then the other part of the regret is that letting go of beating myself up. So I let go of something that I kind of wish I had. You can see neither of them were that important to me, and even now I'm like, whatever. But what I let go of was being like, oh, you shouldn't have done that, you're so stupid, or whatever negative story I would have told myself in the past about that. I can let that go. And that is probably my biggest transformation, is just loving myself and letting go of those negative messages. And so that hopefully can happen for you as well, of like letting go of physical and letting go of that critical voice inside your head that's like, oh, you made a mistake, like wrong, bad, whatever. So mistakes are actually how you learn and grow. And in my family, we celebrate mistakes because that means you're being brave and you're trying something and you're going for it. And so we celebrate that. So I celebrate you for just trying and doing the best you can and loving yourself up through the process and noticing, learning from your mistakes and really learning who you are through what you're letting go of and what you're keeping and what you want to bring more of into your life. That is going to make a big difference. And so hopefully that's inspiring to you to let go of your fear and just dive into it and do your best and let that be enough. All right. So there's also something that happens to getting stuck between each category, which is really common and understandable because you're going through everything that you own and you might have a lot of stuff. And so there's a fear of how hard it's going to be. Even though you've done it before, you might so you do clothes and then you're afraid that books are going to be hard and you procrastinate, and then, which is what I did. So between every category, I had some procrastination time. And that makes sense because it is an exhausting process, or it can be. So I've had clients, and recently I did kind of a short session with someone who was about 3 hours when often they're 4.5 or 5 hours. And she was just mentioning, I am so exhausted. This is so exhausting because you're making a lot of decisions and maybe some things from the past are coming up or some regrets from, or just facing reality. Like facing your stuff is facing yourself. And so it's tiring. And so you need to really remember to take care of yourself. So stay hydrated, drink your water, and stay nourished, and just tuning in with your energy as you're doing it to keep it fun and light. And really your self-care is important. Again, I'm going to say particularly for moms who we're always putting our energy out to others, our children, our partners, and like making sure through the process that we're taking care of ourselves. And like I'm mentioning, taking care of yourself by quieting your critical voice is going to make the process way better and life way better. And so, yeah, just take care of yourself. And there's a quote that I love that is, if you're tired, rest, don't quit. And you just need rest between. You need to have it be a priority to get it done. But also, like, number one has to be, like, do you have the energy for it? And so we get energy by taking care of ourselves. So do the thing that's right for you. I love baths, walking in nature, getting playful with my daughter, or exercising. And what are all my self-care things? Do you have your list? Like just those little things that we can do. Meditating. Yeah, I can post an article. I'll send an article with the email that is all about self-care and taking care of yourself through the process, because that's totally necessary. And I would say that, I just lost my thought. The other thing, from clients that I've had who've had a lot of fear before we do the method, they always say, 100% of the time, they say, oh, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So we do this thing where we're like building up how hard it's going to be, the overwhelm, the fear, the procrastination that's keeping us stuck. And so if you just dive in and do it, you'll notice it's much, much less painful than you imagine it's going to be. And we'll talk about this more in the workshop, but your plan is going to have to include your supports. And so your self-care, and then also where are you getting support for meals and childcare and all the things that you need to make this happen. And then this other one that I really like, and why I'm KonMari consultant probably, is because helping others actually can energize yourself. So even if you're feeling overwhelmed and can't tackle your own stuff, if you help a friend who's really interested in the method, don't force this on anyone, but if you have a friend who is like, yes, I want to declutter and organize, and you go to their house and you help them with their process, you're gonna have more energy for your own. That was my experience anyway. Every time I help someone, I come home and I'm like, I want to love up my house too. And like, it energizes me to help people, and that could work for you too. I know some people are getting in partnership and trading, helping each other. If that's available to you, I recommend like whatever support you can get, and make this process really fun and really transformative. And well, this challenge, this is good support, like good ideas and asking questions and posting your vision and posting your responses to the daily activities and participating as much as is available to you is really going to help you reach the dream life that you have for yourself and your family. So, yay! Thank you for watching and participating, and we'll look forward to day 4, which is looking at how do you deal with your kids stuff and your partner. And that's huge for a lot of people, of how do I do it? And so we'll talk more about that and support you through those questions to answer for yourself and to get you there and to figure it out. So I'm so happy to be your gentle guide towards this life that you're looking for.